Maitreya?
Or Heather?
Whatever you want, Lindsay.
Yes! I love her!
Yeah.
That's your sister-in-law?
Just so we know who you are, we're good.
Okay.
John.
Here we go. Down there. EPK is rolling.
It's rolling. It's rolling.
So I find that when you're working in the film industry, it can have the potential to take away from your relationships, whether you're, with your parents, living at home, or a spouse, significant other, your children. Me particularly, I am married, and I work very long hours on set, and luckily I have a wonderful husband who is a rock star, and he just supports that I have to work long hours, and when I come home he has a glass of wine waiting for me. So I am one of the lucky ones, but it can affect a lot of other people in their relationships, because people who really need and value quality time and don't get that, they will feel a lack of something. My character's name is Heather, and Heather has been married to her husband David for many years. They have 2 kids, and she's working long hours, and she's feeling a disconnect from her relationship and what she needs from her husband, because they both are working long hours.
I know for a lot of people that don't work in the industry, if a partner works in something else, it's really hard on people. My girlfriend luckily works in the industry as well, so there's more of an understanding, but it definitely can take toll on planning things and spending time with each other when the schedules are very opposite. And she's more understanding than some of my partners in the past, because at least she's in it and she kind of gets it, but we still bump heads in scheduling conflicts, and then for other things that happen on screen. You know what, I mean, I think it happens at human nature a lot, just with people having fantasies that play out in their minds. And in the film industry, because you're around so many people all the time and you have such on-screen chemistry with people, it can make it very tough. There's been relationships formed on TV shows, there's been divorces and cheating and affairs and all that kind of stuff that's happened on TV shows. I think it can be very tough, because human nature, when you're that close with that person and actually experiencing that relationship and that on-screen chemistry, it kind of could take away from your relationship.
Yeah, I think relationships in regards to like working in the film industry I think it's something that non-film people kind of, or film people forget that non-film people, it isn't normal to them. So you'll just be like, bye honey, I'm gonna not see you, if I'm doing a series, I'm not gonna see you for 6 months, except for on weekends when I'm gonna be learning lines like a maniac. And people are like, what? But I think it's something that's, I mean, no matter what industry you're in, I'm sure there's different challenges with different industries, but it's always something that needs to be navigated and figured out, and obviously it depends on the person and what they do. And I think for my character, her challenge is actually, unlike the other relationships, it's kind of the other way around. Like she's wanting more out of her relationship at home, and instead of her partner missing her because she's away all the time, she feels like when she's there, he's not giving her what she needs, and it's hard. I think that's hard in a different way for her, being away all the time, because those moments that she gets to spend with him are really precious, and I think she feels like they're not as precious to him.
It's tough for me. I definitely am a self-proclaimed workaholic. I'm definitely that kind of guy who's defined by his work and what I do. So I understand that can be difficult on your partner, because you're supposed to be a team and there for one another, and it's hard because the film industry, the hours are long and irregular, but you have to take every opportunity that you can. And it was kind of the same when I was a lawyer. Like you have to put in so much time just thinking that it's going to pay off in the future. But I mean, that can be tough. My dad was a bit of a workaholic too, and I know I missed him a lot when I was a kid, right? And I know a lot of guys who were workaholics when they got older talk about how much they regretted that. It's kind of perfect because my character Mike is a bit of a workaholic. He's a first-year lawyer, which is a stretch for me. And his kind of arc with his girlfriend is that he is really dedicating all his time to the office, and it's taken away from his personal relationships.
Well, I have first-hand experience with this because my husband's a key grip. Right. So he works Monday to Friday, 17 hours a day. So pretty much Monday to Friday, we don't see each other. And then the weekends are for us seeing each other and for him doing his thing and me doing my thing. But it takes a very, very strong relationship because your partner is spending more time with his crew and his people than with his partner or her partner or the family, right? So it's a very unique situation to be in. I know it doesn't work for a lot of people, and it's actually caused a lot of breakups in the industry, but for us it works perfectly. And we're very independent people, so I like doing my own thing during the week and he does his thing, and then, you know, coming together on the weekends. So this is a really interesting concept, this film, because it's very it is a very hard thing to do in a relationship. Yeah. I'm playing the wife of somebody whose partner is on set all the time. So it's pretty paralleled. The big difference is I don't have any kids, and my character does have kids, or a kid, a daughter. So, and it's something my husband and I have talked about a lot, and how I would, if we had kids, I would be the sole caretaker, and it would come down on that a lot. So, you know, I relate to this character because we are kind of in the same shoes, and, you know, I do think about him being on set and being with his other people more than he sees me, and it's interesting that I get to play this character because I kind of live it too, so yeah.
Well, I have been in a relationship for 16 years. I'm coming on my 9-year wedding anniversary on Wednesday, so I have a lot of experience being in a long-term relationship while working on set 20-hour days. I think it's difficult. It's really difficult on the partner because, you know, for us, we're gone for a huge amount of time, and we can't always be there at the beck and call of the people that we're with, and that makes things really difficult. So I think it takes a special type of person to understand what we do for a living, and nurture it, and understand that as an actor, even when I get home, I have, you know, 2 hours of prep before bed. So when I'm filming, I'm lucky enough to have somebody that stands by me 100% and moves me forward.
Wonderful. How does that all relate to this film that we're making?
I think this film is really interesting because, you know, I think set life is like when you went to camp, right? So when you were a teenager, you would go to camp, if it was drama camp or just regular, whatever kind of camp you would go to, and you would meet the boy or girl or whoever you fell for in that camp. And in that moment, in that time, because it's so concentrated, you were like, this is the person for me. And then you would have this kind of idea of this person because you spent a really small, concentrated time with them. And sometimes that can trick your brain into thinking, oh, this is something more than it is. But really, in reality, had you met outside of this small group, you might not have either connected or it might not have gone further. So I think that this kind of highlights that, what's reality and what isn't.
Relationships and working in the industry. How does, what about relationships and work, and how do you balance it? Well, I don't really consider it balance. It's kind of hard to, I don't think they believe in such a thing as balance. What I believe is that you have to be sensitive and be ready to adapt to both. There are times in your life where the relationship is going to take a priority, and you're going to have to spend that time. And then there's other times where work is going to take a priority. And so I don't think there's such a thing as perfect equilibrium. So, and I used to try to work for perfect balance, but it just didn't work. Something cracked, either the job or the relationship. So now what I work for and what I look for in a partner is someone who understands, you know, basically the flow. And there's going to be time and place for everything. And if I find a partner like that, then I know I've got a good catch. Ethan is a man of the world. He started humble beginnings, and he's up on top, but he's taken some hard knocks along the way, and he's learned some lessons. And I think what I like about Ethan is he's not just he doesn't see his role as simply bossing people around. It's also educating the next generation. So I think he shares some good words with some good words and some good philosophy with Mike. Hopefully he takes it.